when you first jump on your computer this year, I need you to clean up a bunch of stuff that was there from last year and kind of set it up to be your own, because you or another Digimedia student will be the primary user of the computer that you're sitting at right now. So, that said, when you log into your computer, the first thing you need to do is clean up the desktop. So there shouldn't be anything on the desktop except for maybe a couple applications. So if you see any like files, like Excel files, Word files, pictures, folders, whatever they are, you can delete all of that stuff. No problem. It's all projects from previous years or over the summer. The second thing I need you to delete is if you click on the Windows Explorer icon, the folder icon down here, that'll open up this window. There's a lot of stuff in here. Click on Videos on the left side. In Videos, you're going to see all the projects that the students did last year, and you can delete all of those folders. You can just get rid of everything. We're going to start with a brand new clean slate. You can do the same thing in Pictures, Music, Downloads, Documents, and we already took care of the desktop, so that should be fine. But just kind of clear everything out there in those folders. Those are all the files, the data that's going to be on the computer itself. Just the folders. Don't mess with like the C drive. This is where like all the programs and such are stored. You don't want to mess with that. Okay? So clean all that up. After you have deleted any old files, so why don't you just pause and do that. All right, pause the video, go clean up your desktop, go clean up the video folders. Okay, welcome back. All right, next thing, task number 2, is I need you to set up and modify your taskbar. The taskbar is this bar on the bottom with all of your programs on it. We use the following programs in our class. Let me bring over a window for you. We use all these programs. Now these 3 on the top are web browsers. We've got Microsoft Edge. Yours might look a little different. We've got Firefox and Chrome, and we use, usually students have a favorite of those. Usually it's Firefox or Chrome, but if one's not working, you want to have the other. So that's why you've got all 3. Audacity is this little program right here. It's an audio editing program. Premiere Pro and After Effects. We'll use Premiere a lot. We may or may not use After Effects. And then Microsoft PowerPoint, Word, and Access are all Microsoft products. Here's Word. Here's PowerPoint, but hey, I don't have Microsoft Access. So if you want to get Microsoft Access, this is Digimedia only, tap on the Windows key on your keyboard, and it brings up this thing, and then you can literally just start typing Access. All right, and then it pops up. You can do this for any program on the entire thing. So if your taskbar does not have a program that you're going to be using, this is how you get it. You just tap the Windows key, start typing the name of the program that you need, or a word in the program, and it should pop up. When it does pop up, you don't left click on it. That would just open the program. You want to get it on your taskbar so it's like really easy to access. So you just right click on this over here, and then you've got some options. You can pin to start, which nobody ever does because we never really go to the start menu, or you just pin to taskbar. I think that's the easiest thing to do. So we're going to pin this to the taskbar. We're going to tap the Windows key again just to leave, and you'll notice it's down here. And I can rearrange this. I can click and drag this stuff all over the place so that it's all in one spot. Okay? All right, and then the snipping tool is this thing right here. Really awesome for kind of capturing screenshots and things like that, which you'll use a lot for making your portfolios when we get to that point. Other students really like stickies. It's like a sticky notes thing. You can put notes on your computer, little reminders, things like that. And then if you wouldn't mind, please delete. If you ever see Spotify anywhere on the page, please delete that. There's no good reason to be listening to music while you're editing, because if you're listening to dialogue or you're listening to the audio and the video, any music is just going to distract you and slow you down. Just trust me, as an editor for 10 years, I know this, I've tried it. It's not going to make you efficient in my class. All right, so that's the second thing. Pause and get your taskbar set up with all of these programs. Just leave this window open so you have this list in front of you. Make sure you have these. You can remove any extras if you want to, and then add any little ones you want. Like if you have one like stickies or something that you would like, that's completely fine to add on if you've got another one. And please remove Spotify if you see it. Okay, and last but not least, I went ahead and posted these graphics in the classroom, and this is the folder structure that we're going to follow for every project we make. And so at the beginning of every project, the first time you jump on your computer and you start importing footage, or you make your project, or whatever it is, you need to make this folder structure, and you make it in videos. So if you go to the videos folder, You won't see anything there, but for this very first project, whatever the project name is, you want to kind of name it that title. So like I've made a bunch of videos all last year, so I've got this advancement video called Unstoppable from a couple years ago. And inside there I've got like a bunch of different folders. Now I've got more folders than what you need. So what you want to do is probably like this. All right, this is a really good simple folder structure. You may add more folders for one of your projects, but this should cover you pretty well. Every time you've got a bunch of files, you want to throw them in a folder. You don't want them just kind of loosely spread out. It's kind of like throwing a bunch of papers in your backpack. You want to make sure they're in folders, they're in binders, they're kind of organized. And so in a video project, these are the 5 major things that you're going to have. Audio is just any music, voiceovers, and sound effects you have. Exports are when it's finished. You don't even kind of touch that till the end, but when you're finished editing a rough cut or the final cut after you've gotten a bunch of feedback, you'll go in and export those to this folder so you know where they go. And from there, that's where you upload it to YouTube. I should also mention, if you double click on this, see I've got the mission is like the final cut. That's what's going to get uploaded to YouTube. Then I don't have to mess with the title and take off like rough cut or anything like that from the title. It just uploads with that title. It's perfect. And then these are all the versions that I went through as I got feedback from administration and all the people that were involved in the making of it. So that's what your exports folder is. Your graphics folder takes care of any images, logos, bumpers, anything kind of extra on top of your normal video. Your project files, or whenever you make something in Premiere or After Effects, there's a file that contains all the data of your cuts and the effects and anything that you put into the video. And so that's what a project file is. Those project files look different than typical files. They're icons like this. They look like that. PR is Premiere, AE is After Effects, pretty self-explanatory. And when you make those projects and you save them there, it's also going to make autosave folders automatically for those things too. Okay? And then source is your final folder. This is where you put all of your footage once you film it. You kind of jump on your computer after you film and you pop the card in. You're going to put all of your footage into the source folder, your source footage folder. And within that folder, you can just dump all your files into one. I mean, this was a really big project, so I had a bunch of folders because I wanted to be organized with my footage, but that's where you put all of your source footage for your project. So that said, I'll give you the title of the project that you're working on in class, whatever class you're in. But if you would go ahead and title the folder that you're working on, whatever the title of the project is, that would be great. And then make this root structure for the folders. Remember, to make a folder, you have if you're on the Home tab, you can make a new folder up here. That's an easy way to do it. Or you can do Control-Shift-N. That'll make a folder for you. Or you can right-click, go down to New, and make a folder that way as well. Okay? If you'd like to mess with the view options here, we can change if you go into the View tab, you can make the icons big or small. Typically, I usually go with large icons. That's a good view, but you can do whatever you want. All right, sorting by name, date, type, that's helpful too when you get a bunch of video files. That should get you going. So take a few minutes now and set up your folder structure.